In this Sailing Doodles, we go snorkeling on a shipwreck, and then we head in to go pick up and install our brand new water maker. This season of Sailing Doodles features Bobby, Taylor, and Punky as we set sail for the Caribbean in our 1989 CT56. This channel is made possible by our patrons who get perks like patron-only videos. Thank you so much. In the previous video, we did some boat repairs and then explored the beautiful waters of Buck Island and the Virgin Islands. Alright, it's another beautiful day out here. Wearing my sun shirt so I don't get burned is from Whitewater Life. Really like it so far, kind of trying it out. Probably by the time this airs, we're gonna have Sailing Doodles logo and stuff. There'll be a Sailing Doodles logo here and some stuff on the back, so pretty cool. There is a wreck, we think, over there?
Yeah, so we're gonna go check it out, see what it's all about, see if there's some cool coral or fish or anything.
Yeah. Alright, let's go check it out.
I will not let us fade away. It's not a price I wanna pay.
It took some searching in the dinghy, but we finally found the shipwreck of the Cartanza.
We lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus.
The ship lies in about 45 feet of water. Legend has it that the crew was going to be boarded by the Coast Guard in the 70s and had illicit cargo on board, so they fled the boat and scuttled the ship. They did this in the mouth of the harbor at St. Thomas, so later on the boat was raised and towed out to Buck Island where it is today. Watch closely here as the squid ink as they swim away.
Yesterday we could be ourselves. Didn't have much, but nevertheless, we were true to each other. But now we don't even bother. I remember you being hopeful, but the tall waves have worn us down. And slowly we are down. That's why
Well, the girls are going out. We're leaving Bobby behind. He has to work.
Yep.
But Punky stayed back yesterday when me and Bobby went to the shipwreck. So today we're gonna go check it out. Maybe she can find us some lobster or something.
Hopefully, we'll see. Haven't seen a lot of lobsters around here.
Yeah, I know. Neither.
And we're not. It's illegal to spearfish, so maybe we're just gonna look around.
Catch one with the hands. If you're really good.
Yeah, I don't have a snare, so I gotta catch them myself.
The girls had a fun day snorkeling and then relaxing in the beautiful waters of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Alright, pardon the sweat, been working out a little this morning, but we are about to get out of here. Been a nice little spot, but we've been here, what, 4 days?
Yeah.
Probably time to move, so we gotta head that general direction anyways. We're gonna head back towards St. Thomas, because I'm getting our new water maker soon. It's like the most annoying sound in the world, but it's supposed to be, because if that goes off, like when you got the motor running, it's bad news. It means low oil pressure or overheat, so that's what you want. You ready to go?
Yeah. Let's go.
All right, so the best way to moor, see each line goes around through the eye down there and back to its own spot. You don't want one, if you're staying for like a couple hours or something, sure, just put one line through the eye, come back to the other side. But you don't want to do that if you're staying for, you know, overnight or something, because that'll basically saw through your line. So you want one going back to there and back, and the other one going there and back so it doesn't saw through your line. So that's why we have 2 lines here, one to each cleat. So we'll make sure Taylor is ready.
Hold on to it?
Yeah. All right, let it out and then just let it all the way out, and then just pull the other side through.
And then just
Yeah, let it go. Now pull the other line. Go, it's off the mooring. All right, so just like that, we are off the mooring. All right, we're only going about 3 miles today, so we're just gonna put the genoa out. But one thing we wanna check while we're up here is that our sheets are clear. You know, they're not hooked under a cleat or under something like that. So we're good there, and the other side looks good too. So our autopilot's getting some bad information from the compass. I don't know, maybe it's the autopilot or the compass. So we're doing a little commissioning here to see if we can get it to recalibrate, because our auto helm isn't working.
Well, we tried to recalibrate it by kind of going in a few circles to recalibrate the compass. That didn't seem to work. So it looks like we're hand steering for the next little bit. And in the name of doing things by hand.
Nah, we're just gonna put the Genoa out. We're not gonna put all the, we're only going like 2 more miles.
Hand crank it.
Always pull, don't pull up like that, pull, yeah. You can go stand on that, whatever, yeah, just, that's fine. Go ahead.
It's not going anywhere. There we go, now it was stuck on something.
We're good, we're good, good.
It's good?
Yeah.
All right.
The compass for the boat is not working because it says we're doing 210 degrees. We're clearly doing 310 degrees. So when we get there, it's a boat, right? You gotta work on stuff all the time. So there's like a electronic compass that lives up by the chart plotter where the rest of the electronics are. I'm sure that has gone bad or something to that nature. We'll see.
I hand cranked it. I'm proud of myself.
So I am gonna steer the boat while the girls are gonna jibe. I'm gonna walk them through it, and hope you guys can follow along. Punky, if you'll come over here, and you're gonna need the Millie. Basically, you're gonna load up on this winch, and you're gonna let out on this winch.
Let it out.
Yeah, so you need to load it up first, load up the line first. So you always go clockwise. You go 1, 2, 3 times around. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start turning the boat, and when I do that, you start pulling in and you're gonna start letting out, okay? When the sail starts to kind of ruffle, that's when you do it. All right, you ready, guys? The wind's gonna be changing now. Hang on, as soon as it starts to go. Okay, start letting yours out, Taylor. And you can start pulling in. There you go, now the sail's moving to the other side. Not the world's greatest anchorage, but it will do. This is pretty, it's got a nice view of the sunset. A bit of an exciting day today. Looking forward to this one. We have finally got a new water maker. Rain Man water makers who I've worked with in the past. We use one of their portable systems to cross the Pacific Ocean. Pretty cool thing, you know. The portable system is great because you can take it anywhere, obviously. But we're having one, this one's gonna be permanently installed in our boat. We had a water maker in here, I have one still actually, but I've never been able to get it to work. It's a Spectra, but it's like 10 years old. So it's about time for a new one anyway. So we are gonna head over to the marina and go pick it up. It's already there waiting on us, and install it. So we pulled up the anchor, and it was only a short mile over to the marina, Yacht Haven Grande. One thing you gotta be careful of out here is we got the dolphin striker there. So see how the anchor is hooked underneath it? So definitely have to watch that, otherwise you could, you know, have problems there. So we're headed in. Taylor is the captain today. I think it's gonna be a pretty easy docking, so I might let you try.
Oh gosh, okay. I'll give it a shot.
Bravo 1B1.
Right, we'll be right there, thank you. All right, good job, Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor, you're badass.
High five.
I should not have done that in bare feet. There's a lot of bird poop.
All right, here they are. All 3 pieces of the water maker. I'm assuming that's the pump, this would be the membrane, and maybe the auto flush system. So this is not the portable version. I mean, it's gonna be permanently installed in here. That's the membrane and everything. And the new system they have is an auto flush. So once a week, it'll automatically flush the system so that you don't have to pickle it, you know, because really you need to use your water maker at least once a week, because all the salt water will sit in the membrane and it's got all those little critters in there and it gets pretty gross. So if you're not gonna use it for like a couple weeks or more, you need to pickle it, so you put this special stuff in there that kills everything and keeps it all right. So it's a nice way they have everything packaged here. So they got everything labeled. You get your brine fittings, which would be, you know, the salt water. You got your product water fittings, which is, you know, your fresh water. Inlet fittings, all your nuts and bolts. Then you got your instructions. You have your 3 filters here. All your tubing and hosing that you'll need. Yeah, this is for your pickling stuff there. And then this is all your hosing and your tubing, your mounts and stuff. And then this is your actual compressor, high pressure water pump that pumps everything through the hoses. So it's all nice and neatly packaged. Perfect. So this is the reverse osmosis membranes. Basically, these are just 2 membranes. These are, I think this is like why water makers are expensive, is this part right here. Basically, it pushes salt water through these membranes that are really fine, and it basically, you know, you get rid of all the salt out of them. And then it's got the high pressure water in. I don't know what PSI it is. I think it's like 40 or 50 PSI. And then you've got your product water, which would be the clean water, and then you've got your discharge water, which is like the salty stuff that's left over, gets pumped out. Okay, this last box basically contains some valves, your auto flush timer, you know, more filters and stuff. You got these, you know, activated carbon or molded carbon, whatever filters as well. Basically what I need to do now is I've got a good idea of how big everything is here, and so now I need to find the space for it. We have this little compartment back over here where our old one is installed, and basically I'm going to take everything out of there, all the old components out of there, and see if I can fit it all in there, because actually part of that other one fits underneath the stairs too. So I'd like to get it all in one place. I think I can. I have the old unit all out. Basically in here was an old ice maker that we don't need anymore. So, and then one of the control panels, it had like 3 control panels for this old one. One of the control panels was there. So I took the control panel out and I removed the ice maker. So now we'll get this back as storage, which is nice. And then I'm going to install all the water maker components over here. Put the compressor and the high pressure pump back over here, and then the membranes across the top there, and put on my controls right here. Should be pretty easy. Basically, you know, you got the discharge, which I've got labeled there. I got the intake, which I've got labeled there. I've got, for fresh water, I've already hooked up the flush system right here. Basically, this takes water from the tanks that are fresh, and it'll flush all the membranes and everything, you know, when you're done making water, so you don't store crappy water in there. So then I'm going to put all that in there. I will have to run a new product line to the water tanks. Basically, if I want to fill both tanks, I got a little valve I can open up an inner tank between the 2 water tanks, and it'll fill both of them. Because the old system had these little tiny little water lines that are like that big, and I don't know how many gallons an hour it did, but this one does like 36 or 39 gallons an hour. So this is pretty fast. So it's got thicker gauge product lines. Well, basically, I first install the base right there, and then I'm going to just set the compressor in there, and then I put this other little side on there and bolt it in, and then you know, it's set. And so just mounted the membrane bracket, and then I'll just put the membrane on there and bolt it in. Should be good to go. So I am just about done installing this. It's 6 o'clock now. I've probably been working on this a good 6 hours and got it. I mean, that's including uninstalling the old one. And then the plumbing's all already there. This one's a lot more simple. It's not just push a button and it does it automatically, which is fine, because now I have control of everything and I can make sure the water's good and all that, and I know exactly what's happening. Basically, I just pressurize the system. It works great. There's a couple fittings that are leaking a little, but that's my fault. I need to tighten them down. And then I need to mount all the valves. So I'll do that tomorrow, but I'm gonna do a little another test to see if I can get it working good. But man, I'm pretty happy with it. Super easy to install, a lot cheaper than buying like a Spectra. There's a link in the show notes to Rainman, rainmandesal.com. It's a pretty awesome product.